Are you looking to run a sub 4-hour marathon? Whether you are training for your first marathon or not, many runners have this goal. The first factor to consider is if this goal is realistic for you at this time. Even if this goal is not realistic for you at this time, it doesn't mean that it won't be in the future. You must be able to run a 9:09 minute per mile pace during the marathon to meet the sub 4-hour goal. A good way to assess if this is a realistic goal for you to look at your shorter distance races times. Are you able to run a 10K under 55 minutes or a half marathon under 2 hours? If you can do this, then this probably means that this is a realistic goal for you at this time in your running journey. A good running base is something that you want to have in place before you have the goal of a sub 4-hour marathon. Before you even begin marathon training, you want to be consistently running, and you want to be able to run a long run of at least 8 miles. You want to be very consistent with your marathon training plan, and you want to be following your marathon training plan as close as you can. While volume is good in a marathon training plan, it is somewhat hard to tell a specific runner that they need to be running 5 days per week. It might not be realistic for a runner to run 5 days per week because they might be at a high risk of injury. I do have a video linked above and in the description below that discusses an 18-week marathon training plan to give you an idea of what a marathon training plan might look like. But just know that this is not a customized training plan, and to get the best results, it's better to get a customized training plan to meet your specific running goals. I do offer running coaching services if you are interested in a customized training plan, or I offer running coaching services to help coach you through the marathon training process. I do have more information in the description below about the running coaching services that I offer. So you want your marathon training plan to be anywhere from 16 to 22 miles in length. So you want to allow yourself plenty of time to physically and mentally prepare for the marathon. It really depends where your aerobic conditioning is at to determine what length of a marathon training program would be best for you. Another factor to consider when you are trying to run a sub 4-hour marathon is to add intensity during marathon training. So you can add speed work sessions such as tempo runs, interval repeats, fartlek runs, and hill workouts are some of the examples that you can add into your speed work training to help take your running to the next level and help you meet the sub 4-hour marathon goal. Speed work is essential to help you build speed and get better. So say you are not doing any speed work sessions at all, and then you start doing speed work sessions, how much better you can get as a runner. Now, while speed work is great and can help you improve, it is also important not to do too much speed work, because you want recovery days built into your training, because you also want to allow for recovery and rest days in your marathon training plan. They are just as important as adding speed work into your marathon training. Now, too much speed work looks different for every runner, so it is hard to give an exact advice to the general population of how much speed work you should be doing. That should be customized to the individual runner. Another thing that should be included in your marathon training plan is strength training and stretching. So by doing strength training and stretching, it's going to help you prevent injuries and make you a stronger runner. So you should be doing 2 to 3 times per week of strength training. So you know, I do have a lot of strength training workouts on this YouTube channel to help provide you motivation and guidance to help you incorporate strength training in your marathon training plan. Flexibility is also a component that you need to have in your marathon training plan. So doing some type of stretching or yoga. So 2 to 3 times per week of that, or you can stretch daily. Probably wouldn't have to do more than 10 minutes per day. But if you want to do more of a yoga approach, you could do that like 2 to 3 times per week. Another important factor in a marathon training plan, if you are wanting to run a sub 4-hour marathon, is that you need to be running your scheduled long runs. Now, some people think that you have to run a weekly long run every single week. So this isn't necessarily true. You For instance, you can run a long run every other week and you still can run a sub 4-hour marathon. Another thing you should consider if you're trying to run a sub 4-hour marathon is that you need to learn how to pace yourself. Practice pacing yourself before the marathon. So you can do this by practicing negative splits, like you could do this during a tempo run, or you can even do this during your long run. You also could try to practice running at a consistent pace or an even pace. That can also be beneficial, but it's always best to try to do negative splits during the race. And during the race, you want to try to run negative splits, so slightly start out a little bit slower, and build up to the pace, and then build up to your goal marathon race pace. And another thing that you always want to consider is that you need to stay consistent with your marathon training. Do as much as you're training as possible, so putting the work in is going to give you the best results. If you want help running a sub 4-hour marathon, I do offer running coaches to help you reach your running goals. I will coach you on a marathon training plan that is customized to your needs to help you reach your marathon race goal. You can learn more about my running coaching services in the link below. What is your marathon race goal? Please comment below. Make sure you watch the next video on your screen about how to pace your best marathon.